Wow, and your underlying energy is the Lovers. Wow. Remember when I was saying y'all waiting for something specific? I think I know what that specific is. Definitely a relationship. Definitely a connection between you and someone that you find very significant. Someone someone who you feel a strong connection to. Okay? Very interesting, y'all. Very interesting. So underneath that, you had the Eight of Pentacles. I don't know why I can't say the words or say the right suit, but it's all good. All right. So, communication seems to be the name of the game. It looks like everything that you've been given, you're looking out for one message, one communication, one extension, one offer of some sort. And I feel like this is about communication, about how one feels. And I feel like that's the challenge right now. That's the heart of the reading. That's the focus right now. Is the communication. Is the conversations that need to be had about how one feels and what one wants to do with those feelings, right? But the thing is, I think the hardest part about communicating with somebody regarding how you feel, it's when, is the part where you have to be honest, not just with that person, but with yourself. Because here you have the Page of Swords. Now, for some of us, this is about, definitely talking to the person, being open and honest, not just with them, but with yourself about how you feel about the relationship, about how you feel about yourself. But this could be in a romantic sense. This could be about being honest about how you feel about the dynamic that you guys share in the relationship. It all depends on what your situation is. And for some of you guys, this is about gaining more information based off of what you feel. I think there's something that you may need to, take a closer look at regarding your own emotions. I don't think it's about getting information about the other person. I do think it can help to understand what they're feeling, but the only way it impacts what you're going to do in your life is if it has to do with how you feel about whatever it is that you feel, especially regarding this relationship, especially regarding this person, or the interaction that you have between you and this person here with the Lovers card. Now, in the past, Virgo, this is your energy. You have the Knight of Pentacles. This is very focused on, on the details, getting, very slow, moving very cautiously. You're not really, moving super fast, but you're definitely taking your time and getting to know your partner, getting to know this person that's in your life right now. I think somebody may have come in offering some sort of stable offer. You know what I mean? Somebody may have came in and just, offered something that's long term, that can last you a long time. Excuse me. Why are these cards just keep getting messed up? I just feel like they're not staying in place for some reason. But yeah. I do get this feeling that for some of you guys, somebody did approach you guys and extended themselves, offer something long term. Maybe it was even you, but it could have been that there was just a lot of slow movement as well. A lot of slowness, a lot of caution, a lot of looking at the details, not a lot of impulsive movements, you know what I mean? And then, with those, that steady, hard-working, kind of concentrated energy, where there was slowness and building of something long term, we move here to the Two of Wands. So all this moving and all that was great, but now I think you guys hit a roadblock. Not necessarily in a bad way, right? But in a sense, like, you can't move forward anymore the way that you have been. Right? There's got to be, you got to take a different direction. You got to go in a different avenue, you got to go in a different way. You can't go slow anymore. That's what that means. Now you're at a full standstill with the Hangman. Just stoppage. Like, nothing's going on. Nothing is happening. And it's all up to you. It's all up to you about where you want to go. And I feel like you guys do have enough information. I think that's the thing. With the Page of Swords, it can indicate that you have to just be honest with yourself, because truly and honestly, as much as we love more information to get some, to make the best decision that we possibly can in a situation where our heart is truly the judge, jury, and the executioner, right? We have to kind of just go with, we kind of just have to kind of go with what we feel. It's not about whether or not it's right or wrong. And two, we can get caught up on wanting to know more details, trying to get more information on situations, especially about how the person feels, when we completely miss the whole point about love in the first place, which is all based off of ourselves and how we feel about the other person. So I feel like with the Two of Wands, this is about making a decision about where you want to take this relationship, where you want to go, but it was going to require you to be honest to yourself. Honest to yourself about what it is that you feel about this individual. What do you want to feel with this individual? What dreams do you have or may have, or what is your dream? What is your dream partner? Because this isn't just about communication, heartfelt communication, heart-to-heart conversations. This is about getting to the nitty-gritty of your desires. This is about allowing yourself to dream. And you do have everything that you do need to have, to move forward, to conjure a relationship, not conjure a person, but to manifest a relationship, a healthy relationship. But it's going to have to start from what you want to feel and getting yourself to feel that way, right? Now, the Ace of Swords is in the future, so I do feel like you guys do have a new perspective, which is very interesting, right? Right now you have the Hangman. Hangman talks about, stagnancy, holding on for a second, right? To get a different perspective on a situation, right? There's no movement until you surrender your perspective, right? To surrender to this perspective that you're seeing upside down, right? And it's interesting. I like that you have the Ace of Swords. You do have an idea of what it is that you're going for, your truth, what you believe in, what you're standing for. You have more clarity on what what avenue you're going down, what choice that you made, right? It's totally crystal clear about what it is that you're standing by. Therefore, you can feel that victorious energy from the Ace of Swords because you do have a truth that's going to cut away all the BS, right? All the other craziness, right? But it starts with yourself. It starts with yourself. What do you believe? What is honest? What is true to you, right? What do you feel about this individual? What do you feel about having a relationship, period? What do you feel about moving forward? What do you feel about your situation currently moving forward? All these things are a big factor. And I think that this whole situation is all about just being honest with yourself. Now, the Magician is your goal and ambition. I feel like you do want to have confidence that you know what you're doing, that you have everything that you need. You're not going into this blind, and you do have everything that you need. That's just, the makeup of this world. We always are prepared for what's to come. You may not know our tools, but we definitely have them available to us. We just have to understand where they are, know how to use them, and wield them to the best of our abilities. And you do have a lot of skills that will help you move forward. And one of those things being is the Knight of Pentacles, moving forward. Taking your time, getting to understand each other, spending quality time with one another, not rushing a situation, not pushing people too far towards a certain commitment or anything. Like, you're committed to understanding the person. And that is a skill that, that's super important when it comes to building a relationship with someone. And I feel like using that skill that you already have, Virgo, using that beautiful skill that you have to get to the bottom of situations, really understand someone piece by piece. That's what's going to help you, bring this relationship together, not just for the other person, but for yourself, and really create a healthy dynamic between you and this other person, because you'll know every aspect of each other's weaknesses, strengths, and work together to balance those. Now, in your outcome, you guys have the Wheel of Fortune. Awesome. I like this card, because this talks about an opportunity opening up. This is a second chance usually, but a second chance in the direction, a second chance in an arena where you've already kind of played in, if that makes sense. Now, what we saw earlier when we pulled your card, when we were trying to pull cards, or shuffling rather, we had the Four of Cups, right? Remember I said you already been there, done that, and you're looking for something specific, you're looking for something, different. Well, this is it, right? And I think the thing is that I know that fourth cup you're probably ignoring for a second because you're thinking, oh, it's going to end up to be the same thing. No, the Wheel of Fortune is saying that this is, yes, a new opportunity, same opportunity, but the thing that's going to make this awesome and make this spectacular is by you doing something differently with the perspective that you're going to be taking from this opportunity now, from this situation here. Okay, it's not going to be the same old thing, right? You're dating somebody or you're in a relationship with someone and you're hitting a peak at this point. That's a good thing, right? That's a good thing because you're going to recognize how much you've grown, how much you've changed, and what you're going to be doing differently. You're going to take steps towards a new perspective that will help you manifest the relationship of your dreams. But it's going to require you to take those steps with the awareness of who you are and the awareness of how you feel, and then charge it with it. You know what I mean? But the Wheel of Fortune does talk about a second chance, a second opportunity of doing something, and you do have everything that you need to get to that place where you can be happy and be thoroughly and utterly in love. But it starts by loving you. It starts by being honest with yourself and completely being transparent with the information that you have for yourself, right? Not about, to the other person. Of course, it's good to communicate with the other person, talk about how you feel, yada, 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 no? It's always good to always, communicate with your partner. Okay, can't stress that enough. And being a relationship coach, you definitely, that's my go-to. But until then, right, before you even go there, you have to be honest with yourself. And that is very important because I feel like a lot of you guys are just coming to realize how much you actually care about this person, how much you feel about this person, how much you've been dreaming of being in a relationship, how much you dream about having a beautiful balance in the relationship if you're already in one. Whatever you guys have, whatever dreams that you guys have right now, I feel like you guys are recognizing that they're worth pursuing and that there's nothing truly keeping you from being able to be happy. So the Wheel of Fortune coming up in your outcome, it's a spectacular card to get, and I'm really wishing you guys the best, especially with this couple weeks coming up. Wow. Alright, y'all. Okay. Wow. Straight out the box. Do not fear the unknown. I'm going to read you the affirmation for that because I found it to be very interesting. Because of course, right? Trust your intuition. Don't allow the fears of what you can't see to keep you from doing what you would love to do, right? Because it doesn't always have to turn out cookie cutter that way, right? Nothing ever is cookie cutter. Nothing is ever simple. But it says, the ugly is not always bad and evil, and the beautiful is not always good and just. Failure is not predetermined, nor is it a given that others laugh at you if you choose to follow your dreams. It is your fear of the unknown that makes you question and judge. Do not let others' experience be the truth that guides you. Do not allow your fear of an unknown outcome to hold you prisoner. Your experience could be both different and rewarding. Live. Yes, man. Don't let other people's opinions sway you. Like I was saying before, I said this could be by getting more information about the other person, trying to see how they feel, see how you feel. That's not going to help you make the decision that you need to make, because ultimately you need to honor your emotions and your emotions only. How they feel, they need to communicate that with you, and if they haven't yet, then you have every right to ask them how they feel. But ultimately, how you feel about that is the most important. You know what I mean? But that's why it's so important to have heart-to-heart conversations. Really get to the bottom of how someone feels. You know what I mean? And I think that we may take it, we may realize that with that kind of understanding with each other, it'll be easier to be able to make decisions like the Two of Wands. Like the Two of Wands is not a difficult decision. But I feel like with the Page of Swords here, it can feel like it is because we're just not being 100% true to ourselves, or we need more information about how we feel. But it starts by just feeling first. All right, let's take a look at the wisdom of the Oracle card. See what you guys got. Oh my goodness, soulmates, isn't it? No, come to the edge. Take a risk. It's very similar to the Fool, right? Taking a risk. Take a leap of faith. But, come to the edge. It means, let's be honest, right? When you're on a cliff like that, or like on a little floating platform, it can be very scary to take that step towards the edge. To be daring, to be, to take chances. And you know what? You have to take chances in life. Because if you don't, look where you're going to be. Look where you're going to end up. It's going to be the Hangman. And if you're cool with the Hangman energy, right, which I always say, then you're good. You're in the right place. You're in the right area. But with great rewards comes risks. And this is what this card talks about. Taking the risk, taking that leap of faith, trusting your intuition, of course, but knowing that you will be able to survive whatever comes your way. The Magician. But it all starts by you taking the risk first. I feel like y'all know what you love, you don't know what you feel, but it's about letting that be your truth and your guide to victory.